Hey there, we're Nigel and Sue. When the global pandemic put a halt to our overseas travel plans, we bought this 4x4 Sprinter van and converted it into our tiny home on wheels. Since the beginning of 2021, we've been travelling Australia and these are our adventures. Subscribe to our channel for more as we get outside into nature, hiking, mountain biking and kite surfing, getting off the beaten track and enjoying all this amazing country has to offer.
Hi guys, we're Nigel and Sue, and this week things are a little different.
That's right, van life isn't always about exploring beautiful destinations and being parked up next to beaches. Sometimes things go wrong with the van and need fixing. Good morning everybody! Today we are going to head off for an adventure.
Morning. But first we've got some repairs to do. We have an alternator to replace. The old one's flogged out. With any luck it'll be a 2 to 3 hour job. And I've just started by putting some WD-40 on the bolts so that we can go ahead and get the old one out.
So basically what happened the other day, I was driving down to Cairns to pick Nigel up and I got a battery/alternator visit workshop warning light. I didn't drive to the workshop, I just drove back here and went and picked him up in my sister's car. The warning light appeared on a Saturday of a long weekend. It was Anzac Day, the day Australia commemorates our service people who have fought in the wars. We got to go along to the parade and also Nigel got to play some 2-up. So Nigel's getting into the Anzac spirit. Having a beer. And he's going to play some 2-up is a game played where 2 coins are tossed and people bet on whether they will come up heads or tails. It's illegal everywhere in Australia as it can't be regulated, all except for this one day of the year. And it's very much a tradition in returned servicemen's leagues, clubs and also local pubs around the country. A lot of fun. Today we drove all the way down to Cairns to collect the new alternator and now we are going to start fitting it. So it's been extremely wet and rainy here. The ground is a bit like a quagmire. So Nigel is actually using the boogie board so he doesn't have to lie in the mud.
So here's our brand spanker, and I'm just checking the bolt holes here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got to find four bolts down there, or nuts, to get some lubricant on. And we'll go ahead and hopefully get it out.
Nigel's been working away for about an hour down there now, and because we're walking up and back on this very muddy area, it's just getting worse and worse. Anyway, he wants to give you guys an update.
Right, like with any job like this, it's the dealing with small spaces. So I've managed to get sort of pilfered a few tools, managed to get these 2 of the 4 bolts finger loose, and I was a bit obviously nervous about the top ones, which I have to use an extender to get in there, but that's the last bolt. So once that one comes out, oh that's right, and then pointing here, that's the belt. There's a tensioner arm on the other side that releases the tension on the belt, so I've just cable tied that away so it doesn't fly loose. Get back to you with the install.
Okay, Nigel says it's going to come out now. Dun dun dun! One old alternator.
There she is. Right, so it's taken me best part of an hour and a half, but we've got the old buggered one out. I'm going to be curious to open this thing up. I'm not going to throw it out because there may be a chance that it's just got some debris from like water crossings or whatever, sand in the brushes. So we're going to keep it and have a look later. Alright troops, so we've got to this point where the new alternator has been installed. Check for tools and made sure everything's looking as it should. Now the next step is to run through, it's like a pre-start check, and this is how I found out that the alternator was the problem. So we're going to step you through this. Kind of found this by accident really, because we wanted to cancel out a service warning that kept coming up, but following the same steps can get you into the battery health. And the cool thing about that is that it shows you what your battery is currently at, and so that'll be the first check, see where the battery's at, and then once we turn the vehicle on, we should then see the battery increasing up to a maximum of 14 volt, and then it's regulated at that. First step, ignition on. One click before start. Ensure odometer is displayed. Yeah, we're just scrolling through using this feature here on the steering wheel, and then we want the odometer. Next step, press button, so this arrow, we need to get the service scope up. Right, we've got the service scope. Then we need to press and hold C, which is this button here, until we hear a audible signal. That could be up to 30 seconds. There we go. And then once we've got that, and then it says to press that button there once. Okay, and that brings up that display. If we scroll through, yes, now I'm just using the down arrow. See how it keeps scrolling through. I'm just using, there we go. So that's cool. So that tells us straight away that the battery charging overnight has worked. It's back to full health, 12.4. So now we're going to go ahead and crank the engine. Okay, and now what we want to see here is that, see, it's been dragged down, which is normal. Awesome. See how that's coming up? 13.7. It's come up from 11.9 up to 13.7, 13.8, and that tells us that the alternator is doing what it's supposed to do. It is charging the battery. So happy days. We're back in business. We've done our checks, and everything is checking out as normal. It's just hopping around that 13.8 to 14 mark, so we're back in business. Almost time for a happy dance.
I think you need to do it.
Okay, what the hell. I'm feeling a bit exhibitionist.
Well done, babes.
Good, good.
So we've got a little problem with the van. We have a problem with our bed. Now please everyone, keep your minds out of the gutter with this, but we've broken the bed. So if you are using the IKEA Scorva beams and brackets in your van build, just be careful, because one of our brackets is actually broken. I'll show you what's going on.
So there's one that's not broken. The Scorva slots into this piece of the bracket here. We pan over to the one that's broken. You can see what's missing. So that it's snapped off at these two junctions here. Didn't actually notice. I was actually packing all my gear away, and I looked up underneath there. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that something doesn't look right. And sure enough. So yeah, we might have got a bit energetic.
Stop it!
No.
And in the event, what's actually happened is this Scorva beam is resting on the uprights of this structure that Nigel built there for all of our kite gear and everything.
It's been resting on the structure, but it's not really holding much weight. So what we're going to do now, until we can get to IKEA in a couple of weeks when we fly down to Brisbane, and we'll pick up some spares, we'll try and jimmy rig it so that the beam is sitting on this anchor track, taking the weight there, just in the meantime.
It's so funny, every time Nigel comes back from work there's always like 100 things for him to fix in the van. I'm so lucky to have him.
Now guys, so what I've elected to do here is I'm going to swap out the broken one with this one here at the end for two reasons. Theory being that there's more weight in these middle two, less weight up here at the head, and then it's going to be a lot easier to replace out the broken one, and it's a lot easier to work away at jimmy rigging something at this end as opposed to squeezing down on there. So,
and while Nigel's doing that, we have the bed sitting here on the ground on a little on our moonshade, and I'm just watching the weather because we've had a bit of rain today. It's nice blue skies at the moment, but oh, not over there, up here. Hopefully it stays like that while we've got the bed outside the van. So this will show you exactly what happened here. This is supposed to be joined on, and this piece is actually snapped off. And so this is the part that the beam sits on. You look at these ones on the wall, and so it just literally snapped across there, and this whole part snapped off.
So what you missed was me spitting the dummy, because I really struggled to get this tech screw out. Probably wondering why we've got a mixture of stainless steel screws and tech screws, and that's because couldn't put the rib nuts in due to the structure of the van itself. Anyway, managed to get it out with heating the screw with a blowtorch and tapping it with a hammer. I was a bit worried actually, but anyway, got it out. I won't cinch it in so hard, I won't screw it in so hard. But we're still going to need something there to support it, and then we'll play with that end, see if we can jimmy rig that end. Last piece of the puzzle. So I managed to find a piece of steak and good old trusty Swiss Army knife. It's the only saw that we've got in the van, but just to cut through that, cut a little notch out for the Scorva to slot into, and screw that up in there, and the weight of the beam is going to be supported on this anchor strap, so that'll get us by hopefully until we can get some replacement Scorva brackets from Brizzy when we're down there 2 weeks time.
So that's it, the bed is fixed, no more squeaks, and we're ready to go.
Nudge nudge, wink wink, say no more, say no more. So there you have it guys, we do hope you've enjoyed this week's episode, which gives a bit of an insight into the reality of van life.
And please let us know if you'd like to see more of these sort of episodes, or would you prefer we just focus on our travels? Give us a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you'd like to see down in the comments, and please consider subscribing to our channel. It's free and it really helps us out here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.